Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Sunday night. I told you guys I wanted to test out talking about TV more and possibly even doing a weekly Sunday show about television because if you guys don't know, then you haven't been listening to me, but that's okay. There's a lot going on in the world. I watch 120 shows a year. Right now, let's see what number I'm at. That is 10 shows a month. I'm currently at 38 shows, so I'm right on track. And oh, actually, nope, I'm at 39 because I just watched another one. Hadn't added it yet. Um, and I love to talk about TV. TV is my life, TV is my world. And Sundays tend to have really good TV. Now that The Last of Us is going to be dropping on Sundays, let's see how this goes. But currently, right now, tonight, I want to talk about The Last of Us premiere. Handmaid's Tale dropped its first 3 episodes. Hacks dropped its first 3 episodes. Daredevil had its penultimate episode. I binged all of Temptation Island, caught up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. No, that's just called The Kardashians now. Love on the Spectrum, I'm done with, and I'm hoping that you guys have caught up to where I am. The Residence, I fully binged. Adolescence, I finished, and I think not enough people are talking about it. 1923 had its finale, which was unbelievable. Grey's Anatomy is going strong right now. The Pit had an unreal finale, speaking of medical dramas. Yellow Jackets, I'm a couple episodes behind, but I just want to talk about this season in general. Looking at Shark Tank. Yes, baby. Abbott Elementary, all caught up on right now. Curious your guys' thoughts. And whatever it is that you guys are watching. On my to watch immediately list that I haven't seen yet, I'm just throwing this out there. I haven't watched this newest season of Survival of the Thickest. I haven't watched the new Chelsea Handler special. I haven't seen Mobland yet, which I hear is phenomenal. And I haven't watched Lioness, which isn't on right now, but just letting you guys know for TV that is on my must watch list. Mostly because it just happened, I really want to talk about The Last of Us tonight. I didn't actually happen to watch it tonight. I'm covering it for Real Rejects. If you want to see my coverage, I believe it drops Monday morning. We're doing something really cool for Real Rejects this season, which is Greg, Aaron, and Andrew, who all played the games and are obsessed with The Last of Us. They're covering the show, and that's dropping on Sunday nights after the show. And then me, Tara, and John, who know nothing about the game, we're doing our no gamer, no knowledge reactions that come out on Monday. One thing I'll say this, and I'm not joking around here. I, for my job, need to not get spoiled about the show. So we are going to be binging it. I'm going to be doing my best to access it and watch it in a way that I can get everything out of the way because I'm so afraid of the internet. But if you spoil something for The Last of Us in this chat, you will be banned forever. It's not a nice thing to do to spoil anything for anybody, but that seriously will be grounds for dismissal, ban forever. So I'm going to kind of like not really look at the chat as much during certain moments, but I will fully be checking Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. You have to be a crazy kind of weirdo to Streamlabs in as spoiler because that would be crazy. Don't do that. Yeah, so Streamlabs in, Super Chat in. If you like this new idea of me doing Sunday TV talk, then make sure you support the show. That will help me know if you guys are enjoying me possibly doing this on Sundays or a once a week TV talk show in general where I break down all the best TV of the week, some of which I just named. The other stuff you guys can hit me with, and I'll share things that maybe you haven't heard of. You'll share things that I haven't been watching, and that will be really cool for this show, I think. All right. So for those of you guys who are here, thank you so much for being here. I know that it is late on the East Coast, but I also need to wait until after Sunday TV if I'm going to be doing Sundays. Still don't know if this is the best time of it. In the chat, by a show of yes or no, did you watch The Last of Us premiere tonight? The season 2 premiere. Who watched The Last of Us? Just yes or no. Dying to know. I'm also curious who watched Handmaid's Tales or Hacks, because those also dropped this week premiere, and I thought they were excellent. Excellent. Okay, so Jamal's a yes, Mike's a yes, Andrew's a no, Dimpolina is a yes, Franco's a no, Dyson's a yes, Fat Lace is a no, Leonard's a yes. Okay, so we're kind of a mixed bag. Here's the deal. For the next little chunk of time, I am planning on discussing The Last of Us. If you don't want spoilers for The Last of Us, come back in 15 minutes, because we got to talk The Last of Us. That premiered. I want you guys here. Adore you guys. Happy to have you guys here. I just don't want to spoil it for you. So, and we can't talk about The Last of Us without giving spoilers on the premiere episode. So come back in 15 if you didn't watch The Last of Us and you plan on watching The Last of Us. Set your timers. Yeah. And then chat, remind me when I've hit it. Okay. So let's break down The Last of Us. I probably should have write as a title of this, The Last of Us premiere breakdown, whatever it is. But you guys know I'm not much of a YouTuber. I just like to talk to you guys. It's like I'm scared to go out to all the masses because they're so vicious sometimes. I just like the rock stars. So invite your nice friends to come and talk TV with us when you want. I watched this first episode about a week ago, but I was this whole week thinking about it because I love the show The Last of Us. I think it's the most perfect video game adaptation. I don't know anything about the game, so it's all so new to me. And I love the main dynamic of the show. So to me, I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting for this. And the first episode did not disappoint. I thought that they did just the most incredible job of kind of picking up where we left off while also picking up 5 years later. So let's talk about the Abby stuff first, just because that's what we actually open with. Abby's a new character to me. I don't know anything about Abby. I don't know who this Abby girl be. I watched the after the shows of them talking about it too. So what we know about Abby, if you're not a video game watcher, if you just watch the show and the after show, is that Abby's dad was killed. Abby be pissed. Abby be out for vengeance. Abby be ready to murder Joel. Coming for you, Joel. When we opened up on this Abby girl, I was like, is it possible that season 2 doesn't have Ellie and Joel in it? Obviously, they've been doing all the press for it. So I was like, there's just no way that couldn't possibly be true, right? So, but that was my immediate reaction, was just like, wait a second. Are we about to spend an entire first episode with the Fireflies, with Abby being the leader of this group, and we're never going to get to Joel and Ellie until maybe later in the season? That would be mind-blowing. So I'm so happy that wasn't the case. I was so happy that we actually got this little bit of Abby and gang, and then we got the entire episode of Joel and Ellie, and then we got that little closer with Abby and gang, and I had almost forgotten about them because it's been 5 years, but also because we had this whole full episode. So that was really, really engaging for characters that I don't know and shouldn't care about. I did. And I think it was really interesting listening to them talk about it in the after show, where they're like, the heroes and the villains of these scenarios depend on where you're standing. Because I can't even sit here and blame Abby. I can't even be mad at Abby, because what we saw from Abby is she's out for blood. Rightfully so. This man just went into the hospital, murdered everybody, murdered so many people. And then not only did he do that, he also took away the one chance of a cure for all humanity. So, how mad at Abby can we really be that she wants to kill this guy? Unfortunately for Abby, as a viewer, Joel is Zaddy. Joel is bae. I love Joel. Joel was just protecting his daughter. Yes, I'm going to call Ellie his daughter. To me, he is. And I know the therapist doesn't think Ellie's his daughter. I don't care. That's his daughter to me. It's his daughter. He was protecting her. And that's our show and that's our world. So the villain and the hero just depend on where you're standing. And it's so true about this world. It's just that really resonated with me. So that's kind of the Abby situation. Let me know if you guys have thoughts on this throughout as I'm talking about it. Of course, if you have questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, anything that isn't a spoiler about the future of the show, then please streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider or super chat in. Today is April 13th. Didn't know the date. That's fine. Sunday, April 13th. So send in your messages and all of that now. Okay. Especially if you want to continue having me do a TV show once a week here. And send in support. So that's the Abby portion of it. Then we get to 5 years later. Where are we at with Ellie and Joel? And Tommy, I guess. Who's so great. What an underrated character. He's so awesome. So we get to them, and the immediate tension between Ellie and Joel in the first episode is so hard to watch. I don't mean like it's not great television. I just mean what a bummer. What an absolute bummer that this man did what he describes to his therapist, which I'll get to. What he describes her as saves her. He saves Ellie. But in Ellie's mind, it's very clear to all of us, despite him saying that he swears to her, they very much on purpose pick up where it left off last season, where she says, swear to me that everything you said about what happened is true. And he says, I swear. And if you went back to that episode and you watched the aftermath of that episode, the after discussion, you got to hear Bella Ramsey say, in that moment, I don't believe him, but I have no choice but to just keep moving forward. And I feel that from her. And I think that has been simmering for 5 years. She knows he's lying. And now, in every scenario, when you know somebody has lied to you about something, you don't trust them anymore. And so you question their intentions for everything. You question them for everything. And that's been happening for 5 years. Not to mention, we don't know what Ellie knows at this point. We don't know what conversations have been had in the last 5 years. We don't know what Joel might have said to Tommy, what Tommy might have said to Ellie. We don't know. We don't know what she figured out, pieced together on her own. We don't know what's been simmering in her mind. So it's a really interesting place to pick up, because we spent all last season of her being like, I will follow you to the ends of the earth. Don't make me go with somebody else. You're the only person I trust. You're the only person I want to be with. And then we see this season, she wants nothing to do with him. She wants him to back off. She wants him to lay low. Even when he's standing up for her, she doesn't want him to. And that resentment and distrust has grown. So that was so devastating. Like when he goes to fix the guitar, devastating. When what happens at the dance happens with him, which we'll talk about, devastating. But there were just so many heartbreaking moments in watching our main zaddy be so sad. He's having to talk to Dina about it. He's having to talk to his therapist about it. He's having to sit and mope on the porch about it. That was just sad. So it was nice that we got some happy in this episode too. Lover of love, shipper of ships. I don't want to know what happens in the games. Remember, 0 spoilers. But I have to tell you guys, I am so flipping nervous about this relationship. Couldn't be more nervous about this. Dina and Ellie are absolutely precious together. If Dina feels the same way about Ellie as Ellie feels about Dina. Why do I say if? The entire episode, we know Ellie is madly in love with Dina. Absolutely in love with her. And Dina's a cutie pie, so of course. We see a great action sequence where they break into that building and break into the building. You guys know what I mean. When Ellie actually falls through the floor and gets bit, which I think is going to be really problematic for Dina at some point, which I'll get to. But we see that sequence, but we see the dynamic between them as they're riding on horses there together. And you just know Ellie's so into her. But Dina is on and off again with this other guy. And Dina is saying straight up, like, yeah, we're off for now. Dina just seems to not be taking it as seriously. And I couldn't tell that Dina was into Ellie until Dina is high as a kite at the dance and they are dancing together. And she says, what was the absolute, it was like the sexiest line ever. They should be absolutely terrified of you. Like that Ellie's a threat. And then they start making out, sucking face. And it was so cute. But I'm sitting there wondering, is Dina doing this to make her man who's watching jealous? Is Dina doing this because she's actually into Ellie? Is Dina doing this because it's just fun and games and she's stoned? Like, does Dina feel about Ellie the same way Ellie does about Dina? Or are we about to get our hearts ripped out with Ellie? Because this isn't fun and games to Ellie. Ellie's clearly in love. So I'm a little worried about it. Going to the Ellie and Dina stuff, let's go to the supermarket scene. This was such a great scene. We need it. This show's called The Last of Us. The Last of Us is really, at the end of the day, we are the humans versus, right? And so while we're seeing all this human tension, human on human, this is an apocalypse show. And so we've got to be fighting our big bads. We've got to be fighting our monsters. So I was really glad to see in 5 years, the cordyceps have evolved. At least that's what I think is happening. That's what it seems is happening. In the supermarket scene, for somebody who doesn't know the video games, I was like, what in the monkey hell is that? As they're like crawling around, dip, dodge, duck, dive. It was really cool looking, really scary. And as somebody who was a Walking Dead fan for so long, I think it's very smart for a show like this to have your big bads evolve, because it means that the audience doesn't know what to expect and the characters don't know what to expect, which is really important to keep us invested in all 4 seasons of the show. Otherwise, it just kind of gets repetitive. So I'm interested in this. I think what Ellie doesn't realize is the problem here is that Ellie and Dina play off of each other, right? So they both are willing to go into the supermarket because the other is willing to go in. And they've got this really funny dynamic, like you go to whatever it is. And it's really funny and really clever. And the two of them seem like ride or die. But if Dina had been the one who had fallen through the floor, she would have died because she would have been bit and she would have died. And I don't think Ellie realizes the consequences aren't the same for her, which is extremely problematic because Ellie is encouraging Dina and Dina's encouraging Ellie, but they don't have the same consequences because Ellie did get bit and she's going to be fine. But if it was Dina, and it just as easily could have been, she wouldn't have been. And so I'm concerned that even if Dina does feel about Ellie the way that Ellie felt about Dina, I do not think this is going to have a happy ending for Dina. And therefore, I do not think we're going to have a happy ending for Ellie. Now, is that going to be this season of the show? I don't know. Would I like to see them good for a while? Would I like to see them good forever? Yes. But when I was watching this, I'm just sitting there thinking, Ellie, you don't realize the consequences of your actions here, because Dina doesn't know that you are not vulnerable in the same way she is. So when you keep like kind of one-upping each other in this game you're playing, you're not really playing the same game she is. And I love Dina. I loved Dina's interaction with Joel too. I love that. She's a great new character, and I'm really excited to see her stick around. And I need Ellie to rein it in so Dina does not die in whatever manner that is. And additionally, even if Ellie is not vulnerable to bite, girl, you fell through the floor. You could die. There's so many ways you could die that have nothing to do with the monsters. Get it together. Rein it in. And you're still so mad at Joel, which I understand. Let's talk about Joel for a second. I didn't know Catherine O'Hara was going to be in the show. What a win. What a win. Was that in the marketing and I just missed it? Or was that a surprise to everybody? Gangster performance. I'm obviously obsessed with her, just like the rest of the world. I'm so excited because she's been in the studio, and I'm loving the studio, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But she is absolutely amazing. And this opening performance, this first episode for her, was beyond perfect. Watching her be a drunk therapist on the anniversary of her husband who was murdered by Joel, and learning all this information through a therapy session where she's still trying to help him, even though she admits to hating him. The stakes couldn't be higher. The stakes could not be higher. Her performance could not have been better. I honestly wonder if she's going to get nominated for an Emmy for this. She was so great. And then even watching her eyes at the dance, her clocking everything happening, Ellie being like, stop trying to save me, to Joel or whatever she says, stop stepping in, I don't need your help. And you just see Catherine O'Hara sitting there like, clocking all of this. That was wild. It's also wild that we know that Joel cannot tell her what happened. He cannot, because it will put Ellie at risk. And until she says, say the thing that scares you out loud. Say it out loud. And he can't to her. And he can't to anybody. The only one he might be able to verbalize this to, other than Ellie, which I don't know if he could even do that to her, is Tommy. And we don't know in the 5 years if he has or hasn't, but based on this tension and built up energy, I don't think he has. I think he has kept this secret all to himself, which is problematic because by the end of the episode, who do we see? Miss Abby. Miss Abby. Abby be coming in, and there's so much damage she can do. What does she know? She knows Joel went on a killing spree and took the cure, aka Ellie, out of the hospital and ran. So she has knowledge, which is clearly power. She could just come in and try to kill everybody. Try to kill Joel, try to kill Ellie. She could just, not try to kill Ellie, try to kill Joel and leave. Or she could torture Joel by telling everybody he loves about this information and having them turn on him and take Ellie. Or some combination of things. So they've put us in a really unique position here where we know the one that for 5 years he's been able to get away with this, And this is now going to be the time where he cannot get away with this any longer. Now, how that actually plays out, I don't know. But she's coming and she's got knowledge, and that is absolutely going to screw him. If you have thoughts on this episode or on television for April, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Shout out to Eric with CK in the Streamlabs. He says, hi, Eric with CK here. Don't know what's going on. Just got here. Just showing support. Hola, Roxy, and not hola, like Tara said. Oh, hola, Roxy, and not holla, like Tara said. Ha 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 ha. What's up, Erica with CK? Thank you. Appreciate that support. Appreciate everybody who's watching this. And send in your Streamlabs if you want to continue hearing me talk about television once a week. If it does well, I will. If it doesn't, probably won't. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in as well. Those are the majority of my thoughts on this first episode back of The Last of Us. So excited for this season. Let me see. I actually think I took a couple notes. Let me see, make sure that I spoke on all the things that I wanted to. Say the thing that you're afraid to say. That was it. Yeah. Dina and Ellie, is it infatuation is what I wrote. It's kind of like the Romeo and Juliet of it all. But that was fun to see. It was a really, really good episode. Very excited for the future, where we go. The guy that Dina is dating, that's like, guys, chill out. He's also fine. So many people on the show are motherfucking fine. I also love watching all of the press still going on. It's been happening since season 1 between Pedro and Bella. Every interview they do together, like, I could watch the two of them watch paint dry. They have the best chemistry of all time. Like, truly, truly of all time. And Dina is just such a great character. So great. All right. Let's move forward. Those are my thoughts on this episode. I will be happy to continue talking about it if you guys are jumping in now or later on in the episode. Just Streamlabs in. Here are the 2 things of the show tonight. Number 1, you cannot give gamer spoilers of the episodes. If you give gamer spoilers of the episodes, things that you know are going to take place, you will be banned forever. And also just on my shit list. And I have a lot of good karma coming to me. You don't want to be on my shit list. Nope, nope, nope. Number 2, I'm thinking about adding a weekly show where I do TV breakdowns. If you like that I'm doing a TV breakdown, then support in the Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. I want to hear your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, anything that isn't a bona fide spoiler. Also, very important, happy Passover to my people. So much love. Happy Passover. And if you are celebrating in the chat, I want to know how. What'd you do for Passover? Tell your Jewish friends happy Passover. Send out those text messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I spent the day with Grammy today. She did not want to do Passover. She did not want to call it Passover because Passover is Papo's holiday. So we went and got our nails done. And then we went and ate. And then and then my friend baked us a cake. So we went to go pick up the cake. And then we went home and we chilled for a while. And that was our day together. And then I think next weekend we'll try to do a little Passover celebration without calling it Passover, but we will see. All right. Who in the chat, by a show of people in the chat, watched the first 3 episodes of Handmaid's Tale? I want to know who of you guys watched Handmaid's Tale. It's so crazy what the fall off of this show has been. I thought that Handmaid's Tale was one of the biggest shows on. I don't know anybody watching it anymore that isn't me, which is really a bummer because these 3 episodes were excellent. So good. If you guys don't watch, if most of you guys don't watch, then I will just give you guys my very brief thoughts on what I think is going on. And I'll do it in a way that even if you don't watch, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. Andrew doesn't watch. Jamal hasn't seen it. And that Dimplina is talking about Isabella, who's absolutely a cutie pie. Thunder God didn't know the show was on anymore. Wow. You guys are not watching it. Okay. So let me just say this. I didn't watch it either. It is one of the best shows that's on TV. The problem with Handmaid's Tale, in very general terms, is that it is an unbelievably depressing show essentially about women losing all of their rights, because the premise of the show is that for some reason in society, the vast majority of women they become infertile. They stop being able to carry children. But then there are very few women who, for some reason, can carry children. So those women all become handmaids and are, like, by ritual, perpetually, as YouTube allows me to say, graped every month so that they can turn out children. That's the premise of the show. And they have no rights, and they get the children taken from them. And that's essentially what it is. There's a lot more to it, but that's essentially what it is. It's based on books. They're unbelievably depressing. And unfortunately for the show, what's happening in our country right now is women are getting their rights stripped from them. And so I think that this show is not fun to watch. I think this show hits too close to home for a lot of people. I think the fact that now women feel like they don't have autonomy over their body, and they're watching a show about the worst case scenario when you don't have autonomy over your body, has made it so a lot of people have no interest in this. It also really struggles from long breaks between seasons because of the pandemic and because of the strikes and because of life be lifing. So I didn't even know the show was coming back until on my phone, 3 episodes dropped. And I was like, what? I watched the 3 episodes and they were awesome. They were so great. The first one was like mind blowing at the end. So great. So good. I'm so intrigued. I'm so desperate to know what happens by the end of the season. And so I want to talk about this with my friends because the actual show is so great. But not one of you guys is watching. Has that ever happened to you guys? Name the show in the chat where you love a show or you want to watch a show, but life be lifing too hard and it makes you not want to watch that specific show because it's too much. It's just too difficult. It's too much like the news. It's too much like your world. Let me know. And send it in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. We're talking all different things TV. In the Streamlabs, Jamal says, how adorable was the interaction? So we're going back to The Last of Us, also known as Tilu. How adorable was the interaction between Joel and his nephew and his sister-in-law after how they left in season 1. Rutina Wesley is showing so much with every look and expression. I thought that was so great. It's so cute to see Joel like with the youth, as he's like, are you going to shoot him? Are you going to be like, it's just so endearing. Yeah, great call, Jamal. It's a scene I didn't speak on. And I thought that was really fun. Really, really good one. Just the little world building and reminding of us of our players and characters and stuff. So that was cool. Mike Joyce at the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, have you heard of Dying for Zix? It dropped on Friday and stars Michelle Williams. It's been getting decent reviews so far. Any other upcoming shows on your radar? Yes, I've heard of the show. Several people have told me to watch it. I believe Leonard is one of them. So Leonard, let us know if this is a show that you have watched and recommend. And anybody else in the chat, let us know. I haven't seen it myself yet. It's on my radar. If I hear a little more buzz about it, I probably will. But, the other show that oh my God, I can't believe that I didn't put this in. The other show that I need to talk about tonight is Black Mirror. I've seen all of them for Real Rejects, but I'll talk about all 6 of the Black Mirror episodes. And I'm curious if you guys have watched those yet. Actually, let's just jump into that right now. Let's talk about Black Mirror. Continue to Streamlabs in what you want to talk about. Send in Streamlabs super chat if you want to see me continue to do TV talk every week. Send in support. Who watches Black Mirror? Who watched this season of Black Mirror? I need to know by a show of yes or no. Did you watch it? Are you watching Black Mirror? I think this season was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I loved it. I don't think there was a bad episode in the season. If you want to see all my reactions, you can check out Real Rejects. They're dropping one a day. Today, they dropped our episode reaction to the third one of this season. But I've seen all 6 now. So you will be seeing me see those. This is a very difficult show to binge, I will say, because how trippy dippy. But I cannot say enough good things about it this season. Let's just run through it real quick. It seems like a lot of you guys watch, so that's good. Okay, I won't give spoilers because I know that people are still watching this, but I'll just kind of give my brief thoughts. Dimpelina is only 3 episodes in. Mike says the first one was great, but so bleak. Mel thinks that it's better this season than last. Sam's excited about the show, so watches. Jamal doesn't watch any. Jamal, get on it. Okay. Mel thinks Eulogy was pretty sad. That was my favorite episode of the season. My 2 favorite episodes of the season were, I want to see if you guys can guess. Those of you guys who watch the show, what were my 2 favorite, well, I just told you one of them. What were my 2 favorite episodes of this season? Let's see if you guys can get it. Very curious. So, Eulogy and what? We had 2 sequel episodes this season. One of them was a sequel to Bandersnatch, although it wasn't advertised as that, and it's not really a sequel to Bandersnatch. We just have Will Poulter's character and the video game concept. The second is the USS Callister episode, which is a full-blown sequel. Bandersnatch is first. And I actually think that this show might be best at not doing sequels. I like the one-off concept, even though I did like the USS sequel. Okay. Mel says you like Hotel and Eulogy. Mel, do you know me or do you know me? Yeah, Avi. Those are my 2 favorite. Hotel Reverie. When I saw that, that's the 3rd episode, and it's got Emma Corrin, Issa Rae, Awkwafina, and I watched that episode. I was like, "There's no way anything's going to top this season. This episode's amazing. It's got everything I love. It's about film, technology, obviously, lover of love, shipper of ships, romance, the classics. I thought that Emma Corrin's performance was like just the most unbelievable ever. I'm a diehard Issa girl, so I loved this episode. But then when we got to Eulogy, Paul Giamatti is maybe the best actor ever. I mean, is there a better? Can somebody sit here and confidently tell me that there is a better actor than Paul Giamatti? It's a hard argument to make because he's just so good. And I thought the way that they used technology in that episode was so cool. Come to find out, the directors are music video directors. So that's probably why they were able to be so artistically endearing what they did things. So I loved that episode. I also really liked the first episode. I thought that was so beautiful. It was just so effing sad. So sad. So sad. What's your favorite episode of Black Mirror this season? What was the one your least favorite? Do you have one that you didn't like? Do you think this season stacks up? Do you not watch? And if you don't watch, why don't you watch Black Mirror? Curious. It's one of the easiest shows to watch because you don't have to watch all the episodes. You can just pick the ones you want. Yesenia in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says support for TV breakdowns. Thank you. Thank you to Eric with CK, Jamal, Mike Joyce, and Yesenia for being our Streamlabs supporters of the show today. I'm curious if you guys want to see me continue to do TV talk more often. If you do, then make sure you support in the Streamlabs. And that's how I'll know whether I should be doing this weekly or not. I agree, Sam, that the Verity girl looks like Nicole Kidman. And then somebody told me in the comments of the Real Rejects video where we did our watch along to that she's cast to play a young Nicole Kidman in something. I was like, what? That's crazy. That she looks identical to her. Makes sense. Really good. The first one being a commentary on the healthcare system, especially as I'm right now fighting every single day with the healthcare system after the loss of Puppo. Makes me want to punch a hole in the wall. Loved that episode, but God, it was just too close to home and too sad. So many things. Okay. Those are my thoughts on that. Let's talk about Hacks. Who's watching Hacks? So excited that Hacks got so much Emmy love because I feel like maybe that made people binge it so that they'll be caught up. So now that they're going to be into Hacks, I was really, really looking forward to this season, but I always find this show to be underrated. Now I can't call it underrated. This just be an Emmy queen now. So who's watching Hacks? Did you watch the first 3 episodes of Hacks that dropped? How did you feel about it? Oh, you're not loving it, Leonard. Bummer. I thought it was great. I love the dynamic because we're back to our 2 main ladies being at odds with each other, which I think this show is the funniest when they're not lovey-dovey with each other, when they have to get along for the purposes of their lives and careers. And it's kind of funny to watch them interact. If you're not watching Hacks, I do think this is one of the funniest shows on TV. If you're looking for a true distraction from your life, it is very funny. And I'm grateful for comedy right now in a way that I've never been as grateful before. It's just sometimes I just make me laugh. Speaking of comedies, Abbott Elementary, tried and true. We're so lucky we have Abbott Elementary. We're just so lucky. Thank goodness. Because sometimes we be out here needing a network, LOL, workplace, situational comedy. Don't feel like people are talking about Abbott as much anymore either. And that's a crying shame because that show has not dipped in quality. It is just absolutely amazing. Okay, questions for you guys. Temptation Island, Love on the Spectrum. 2 dating reality shows could not be more different from each other. Which did you watch? And if you didn't watch either or one of them, why? I'll say this about Temptation Island. This doesn't matter if you haven't seen it. The host of the show is Mark Wahlberg. Not the Mark Wahlberg, a different Mark Wahlberg. I've never seen this man in my life. No idea who he was. I watched this season of Temptation Island because my sister told me to watch it, and my little sister could tell me to do anything and I would. So I watched it. This is true trash television, like at its finest. If you are looking for the trash TV show of the decade, like this is trash. But this host, Mark Wahlberg, is a gem. And not only do I feel this way, but Steph Sabra feels this way. Steph watched Temptation Island. I watched Temptation Island. We didn't know each other had watched. And then we were at lunch on Friday. And I was like, I watched the show Temptation Island. She's like, oh my God, I watched it too. And she was like, what about Mark Wahlberg? And I was like, he is the greatest host ever. Who is this man? He's like not who you expect to do the show. Because at first when I saw him, I was like, why is he doing this? Like, where is a funny Nikki Glaser type, like somebody who kind of makes fun of them? I'm going to show you guys what he looks like. And you're going to be like, wait, that's the host of the show? He gives the best relationship advice to them, really listens to them, doesn't make them feel moronic. He's just like a really good dude. Did you guys know this man? Let's see. Can you see him? Like, this is the host of the show, and he takes it very seriously. And that is really fun to watch. It's like the absolute opposite of watching F Boy Island. He really seems invested in these people and wants them to be the best versions of themselves. Yeah, Lauren, my sister told me that too. He's always been the host, started in the early 2000s, and they kept him for every reboot. And that's amazing because he's awesome at his job. I wish he hosted other things. Like, this man is 62 years old and he is an excellent host. And this is the first time I've ever seen him. Ooh. His game show, he's best known for hosting Antique Roadshow. I didn't know that. I love him. I love him. Very good. The actual reality show that you guys need to be watching, and let me know what other shows you want me to talk about, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. The actual one you guys need to watch is Love on the Spectrum. I swear I've gotten 50% of my friends to watch this show because of how much I love it. Nothing makes you feel better or more whole or more obsessed with love or more hopeful than watching Love on the Spectrum. This show is the greatest. I don't understand how it does to me what it does every episode. I will talk about it till I'm blue in the face. I am devastated that I binged it all in one day because it's gone. The best part, though, is that all of the people on the show, I get to go look at their social media and figure out where they're at in life right now. And they do such a great job. And I feel like the show's picking up notoriety. And people like, I saw Kelly Clarkson had people on, like they're starting to, they're becoming stars. It is so good. By a show of yes or no in the chat, do you watch Love on the Spectrum? Let me know. And then any thoughts on any of the things we've talked about: Black Mirror, Last of Us, Handmaid's Tale, Hacks, Love on the Spectrum, Temptation Island, Daredevil, which we're going to get to, any of it. Make sure you Streamlabs it in now because I'm not going to be here that much longer. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat. And if you want to see me continue to talk about television, make sure you show support so I know that you guys are into the TV talk. And again, thank you to Eric, CK, Jamal, Mike, Joyce, and Yesenia for being our support system so far. Okay. Daredevil. I'm really confused. Why aren't people liking this? I feel crazy looking at the internet sometimes because here I am watching 8 episodes of Daredevil this season and thinking to myself, this show's awesome. Daredevil's such a great character, obviously, but he is so back. It is so fun to watch him. I think that it's been amazing to see Fisk back. The Vanessa stuff this episode was wild. The cliffhanger at the end of this episode was insane. There's no character that I'm not into. There's no storyline that I've been like, oh, I hate this storyline. The bank episode was my favorite, but this one was my second favorite so far. I just love the show. I think it's awesome. Why don't people like this? What am I missing? Why don't people like Daredevil this season? Is it because it's just been so much time since we've had it? Were they expecting something else? To me, it's so good. Obviously, if what you were looking for was our big 3, Karen, Foggy, and Matt, maybe that's why you don't like the show, because that's not what this new season is. But that's not fair, because that's not what the show is now. I guess it's fair, but then you had no shot. I don't find it to be slow. And actually, I don't find a lot of, like, when people are like, Severance is so slow. That confuses me. What? I didn't find Severance to be slow. I don't find Daredevil to be slow. What does slow even really mean? Like, there's not that much action taking place? Or does it mean that people are speaking slow? Like, what part's slow? What slow to me are these shows that used to be 24 episodes long and they were stretched out and you felt like you could just eliminate full episodes. I don't feel that way about Daredevil. I don't feel like we're really stretching things out. If anything, I kind of feel like we could have had more episodes, because now that we're getting to the finale, I'm like, are we going to be able to wrap some of this stuff up in time? Like, especially after the cliffhanger of this episode, I'm like, I don't know. It's definitely not slow to me, but I do hear it a lot. So there's merit to it, but your girl doesn't get it. 1923 had its finale. It rocked. It was awesome. I love Brendan Sklenar, whatever the name of his female counterpart in the show is. I got to look it up because I got to start remembering her. She had the best finale ever. She could not have been better. I'm so obsessed with her now too. Not the way that I'm obsessed with him, because I genuinely think he's going to be the next like major A-list celebrity, but she was so, so good. What is her name? Julia Schle. Okay, Schlaepfer. 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 That is a hard name to say, y'all. I cannot be saying that right. What does she have coming up? She doesn't have anything coming up. What? She should. She's a stud. I love her. Julia Schlaepfer. This one, y'all know. She played Alex. She's so good. Do you guys watch 1923? Let me know. So much good TV this month. The Studio, Seth Rogen show. I heard from so many people, including Christian, that they believe like this is the cross between Entourage and Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's true. This is the easiest show to watch. It is the one that feels the most validating about how insane this industry is. This episode was so funny. They made it like kind of like a detective-esque episode. Zac Efron was an absolute legend in this. So was Olivia Wilde. They clearly have the best guest stars on this. It's just so stupid fun. Seth is crushing it. A+. I will watch this show. The same that I said about Curb, where I was like, I will watch the show for the rest of my life if it's on. I will watch this show for the rest of my life if it's on. Like I feel about Curb, where It's Always Sunny. Like, this show is just so good. So good. Clearly, Seth Rogen is very loved. He's getting all of the biggest people, the biggest directors, the biggest stars. It's another show Catherine O'Hara is on. Catherine Hahn is also in it. Is Ike Barinholtz. Epic cast. Yesenia in the streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Yesenia says, I'm not satisfied with Daredevil. I was a fan of the Netflix show. I was surprised by the ending of the latest episode. I liked the White Tiger episode. I was surprised by the ending of the last episode. I wonder if you mean surprised in a good way or surprised in a bad way. Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot of people are not satisfied. So I think that there's validity to it, Yesenia, because it's not like people are just saying it and being meanies. They just aren't into it. I just am. I'm just into it. So I don't see the problems, but yeah, that's how I feel. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Not here for that much longer. If you want to continue to have me do TV talk, send in support. American Idol, I'm watching this season. I'm a little behind, so I'm just finishing up, I think, the auditions. You want to know what that show always makes me feel? There are so many brilliantly talented artists on the planet. It's crazy. It's almost upsetting that some of the best artists in the world we've never heard. They're all so good. It's like insane, the voices that people have. and the presence that they have and just the art that pours out of them. Just makes you want to try to support everybody, and it's so difficult, and they're all so great. I'm actually really liking Carrie Underwood on the show, which is a bummer considering I know that our political beliefs seemingly are not aligned, but she does do a great job hosting the show. I will give her that. She is a musical genius. She knows every word to every song. It's wild. Really, really wild. Adolescents, still go watch that. I've been repping that one. Best Shot Show. Definitely going to be up for a bunch of different Emmys. White Lotus finale. We talked a little bit about this, but I really liked it. And then a lot of people started pointing out all of the different storylines that we weren't fleshed out and that we got more of. And I think that's a totally valid criticism. I just liked it. What did you guys think of the SNL sketch, White POTUS? Did you guys watch it? And what did you think of John Hamm's opening monologue with Kieran Culkin? Those are the only two things I watched of SNL this week, but both of them I thought were A+ awesome. I thought the White POTUS sketch was so funny. Very scary how accurate and funny it was. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend it. It's on YouTube. I think it's like 9 minutes long. I'm loving SNL stuff this season. Very cool. Yeah, I saw Amy Lee Wood wasn't a fan of it either. That's a bummer. Everybody was like, they did her so dirty. I didn't feel like they did her that dirty. But I love Amy. So if she feels like they did her dirty, then that sucks. That sucks. But in general, White POTUS was so funny. Like, I would like to see that continually show up. It was really good. So smart. I wonder who wrote it. It was a really, really good one. And I thought John Hamm did a great job with his opening monologue. And Kieran Culkin is just kind of like people love him now. Love him. All right. Getting out of here. So send in any final things. I'm going to cook some din din. Actually, I already cooked, so I'm just going to heat it up. Isn't that a good feeling when you're like, ooh, I already have something delicious waiting for me. RQMDSMD in the house. He said, just sending some support. Thank you, RQMDSMD. Really appreciate it. Need it. Love it. Want some more of it. Eating good in the neighborhood. Appreciate your support. Yesenia in the streamlabs.com/RoxyShire says, neither good or bad ending. I was just not expecting. So this is about Daredevil. I was just not expecting the ending. I thought the therapist was going to get shot. Pacing issues for me. Things I want more time with. Karen, Foggy, and Punisher. Not interested in new characters as much. Okay, that makes perfect sense, Yesenia. Not getting much Karen, not getting much Foggy, and not getting that much Punisher. And from what we saw in the trailers, we see full-blown Punisher, so I'm really curious what we're going to get in this finale. But if you aren't liking the new characters as much, then yeah, you're not going to love this. But how are you feeling about Fisk? Because we are getting a lot of him, and he's obviously not a new character. So is that kind of holding it down for you? Oh, no. What did I just do with my computer? Ah! Oh, my God. Clicked all the wrong buttons. I hope you guys can still see and hear me. Shark Tank is my... It's probably TMI, but Shark Tank's my shower show. Put it on when I shower. Because like I don't need to hear necessarily every word. It just feels comforting having them there. Like hearing new, fresh ideas. My mind can wander about different pitches or things. Wait, Sam. I didn't feel like they mocked her teeth. That's not how I felt. If I did feel like they had mocked her teeth, then I probably wouldn't have liked it as much because that's crazy. I felt like they like in the same way that they do everybody's iconic looks, how they make Trump have a comb over, they gave her teeth. Is that mocking? If she felt bad about it, then it's not cool. But I didn't feel like they did anything. Like they were pretty spot on. Mike, you thought they were over exaggerated? I like looked side by side and I like didn't feel like they were over exaggerated. I love her teeth. You guys know my thing is quirky teeth. I have all fucked up bottom teeth. I love a crooked teeth. I love her teeth. I always have since sex education. But like I thought that they were doing it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if they hadn't done that, maybe it would have been better. Especially if she thinks it would have been better. I do sometimes wonder, like, maybe if they give people a call, a heads up, like, hey, we're going to do this. Any ideas or any thoughts? Maybe that's better, but also that maybe they don't get all the funny things that they need. So I don't know. Just some thoughts. I love her so much. I don't want her to be feeling bad about herself. I hate that Mike White talked about having to fight for her. She was like, I knew they didn't want me because I was ugly. And it's just like, she's so hot and society is like so in love with her and has so accepted her that it's a bummer she ever had to feel like that. Mike Green 74 in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, I'm sorry that I can't tip more. No, it's amazing. Mike Green, every dollar counts. See, this is, I'm just excited to read your name and see what it is you have to say. But I'm glad to see you. Is Steph on a show called Cinepals? Have you seen the first episode of the new season of Black Mirror? A fuck amazing. How is your mental and physical self doing? Hashtag I crush on Roxy. What a sweet comment. Yes, Steph is on a channel called Cinepals. So crazy enough, Steph does this channel called Cinepals. It's run by Jabby and Achara. Jabby is the brother of Greg. Greg runs Real Rejects, and I'm on Real Rejects, and Steph is on Cinepals. And Steph and I are besties, and we're on these brothers' channels, which is cool. So yes, to answer your question there, Steph's the best, and check her out on Cinepals. I have seen the first episode of Black Mirror. We, on this show tonight, talked about Black Mirror. I loved the first episode. I've seen all of the episodes, though, and the first was not my number one favorite, but it was extremely good. Great performances, great premise, just a little too close to home with the healthcare system right now, and so scary. I mean, it's just so scary. And subscription services. Just wild child. Yeah. Yeah, Mel, you didn't know that they run these different reaction channels. I don't actually know how that happened. Probably they both had similar interests growing up in movies, and then that's what they do. And they're both like wildly successful, and both of them have millions of subscribers, which is so cool. And I know they've jumped on each other's channels and stuff before. They did do a podcast episode. Greg interviewed his brother. I think they talked a little bit about it there if you're more interested. But yeah, that's what they both do. And sometimes we cover the same movies in the same months randomly, and it's just so funny that they are brothers. All right. Well, shout out to you guys, especially to Mike Green 74, Yesenia, RQMDSMD, Mike Joyce, Jamal, Eric with a CK, you guys in the Streamlabs for helping keep the show going. It has been a wild time as we've closed down World Girls, and I'm going to be streaming here more often, and gigs come and go, but wild time. So send the support that you can. If you send it now, I will read it on the next episode. I'm going to be here on Wednesday night, so I will see you guys then. And that will be less TV focused, more any news that comes up throughout the week, whether it's personal news for me, for you guys, or entertainment news, world news, all that stuff. And then we'll see if I can continue doing a TV one, if you guys think that's fun. In the comments here, leave what shows you're interested in watching, what shows you're interested in me talking about, whether you consider sports TV shows, because then yes, please, and all of that. Oh, Yesenia, thank you for trying to catch me every time I go live. I know it's difficult when I don't announce it in advance, so that's why I'm letting you guys know Wednesday night. What time? It depends on what Grammy is up to on Wednesday. Last week I aimed for 6, but didn't get here until 7. So I will do my best to be here probably, I think, 6:30 on Wednesday. That seems about right. And I drop it in my Discord beforehand so that people know. Oh, Sam, thank you. I didn't talk about the Yellow Jackets finale because I haven't seen it yet. I am like 3 episodes behind on Yellow Jackets. I will catch up, and then I'll talk about that if I do another TV thing. I love the show Yellow Jackets, but for some reason this season is dragging a little bit for me in the actual on the actual, I'm calling it island. I know it's not an island, but when we're in the future, it's like moving and cooking with gas. But when we go to the past, it's just like kind of dragging for me. So I love the show, but it's just taking me a while to get through right now. And that is where I'm at with that. Mel says keeping the World Girl time on Wednesday top. Oh, yay, good. Yeah, well, I know that that time works for me usually because I've been doing it for years. So I figured keeping World Girls here, that time slot or that night, and then we used to do Sundays, so maybe Sunday or maybe a different day, but 2 times a week, if not more, moving forward. And just being with you guys more often, talking about all the things that we want to talk about and are interested in, and kind of figuring that out together. So should be fun. And thank you guys for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night, whether it's watching TV, doing a little bit of self-care, getting some sleep. Thank you for the next Streamlabs. Jamal in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, please check out the show 1,000 Blows with Aaron Doherty and Stephen Graham. 1,000 Blows. Jamal, I have not heard of that. Let me look right now. 1,000 Blows. Do any of you guys watch that? Wow, it's 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, 9 out of 10 Screen Rant. It's on Hulu. I love Stephen Graham in Adolescence. 1,000 Blows this year. How many episodes have dropped? That's wild. Have you guys heard of it? No, Yesenia hasn't. See, this is why I love talking about television too. There's just so much great TV also. Okay. I will try. Cool, Rec. Appreciate you. Oh, Aaron Doherty's also in Adolescence. That's interesting. Oh, it's dope. We're waiting on part 2. Why don't we know it? Why don't we know it? All right, my loves. Thank you for being here. Stay safe, and put down the toilet seat and live. We don't want those plumes. Don't remember the Holocaust. Justice for all of the people, all of them who've lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice. For everyone in the rainbow, we love you. We stand with the women of Iran. Some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Golden sparkles for the Zen one himself, Glenn Caesar. Happy Passover to those who celebrate. Spreading love everywhere. Watch a lot of TV this week because sometimes that shit is better than real life. Okay, my loves. I will see you next time. And until then, later.